Hi, everyone. This is Kate Ingersoll, and welcome to Virgo month. I thought that I would take time each month to give you a little overview of the spiritual nature of each of the signs. And that way, if you have a sun or a moon or rising sign or a different planet um, in Virgo, you can understand a little bit more about the archetypal nature of this particular sign. I am a third generation Virgo. We have a lot of Virgo in my family on both my mother and my father's side. And so that's actually how I got interested in astrology, was looking at the patterns and the systems of how people in my family were alike. And believe it or not, that's part of what a Virgo is to learn through systems and patterns. We think of the Virgo as the virgin, but a virgin, it does not necessarily mean you haven't had sexual experience. It means to own yourself, that you can sell your talents, but you won't sell out who you are. And that can be a lifelong lesson for Virgos, which I'll talk about in a minute. The spiritual lesson for Virgo is I seek myself through what I learn and integrate. So, a lot of Virgos are lifelong learners. They like to read, they like to study, they like documentaries. They like to read things over and over again to glean different details because Virgo energy can be all about the details. So if you know someone born between August 23rd or September 22nd-ish, depending on the year, they have a Virgo sun sign. Let's take a look at some of the energies of what Virgo is. I always think of Hermione Granger as a quintessential Virgo. Virgo is a mutable earth sign, mutable meaning it's at the end of the season, it's the end of summertime. And so we're changing, and you can tell, especially in my hometown in Ohio, the earth is changing. It's changing its colors, starting to show a little bit of fall. It's changing the temperature. Even the grass feels different during Virgo season. It's a feminine sign, and it's also ruled by Mercury and Chiron. Mercury, especially, Virgos are very, they like to talk. They like to be, they can be of service through talking, so they make wonderful teachers. I think a lot of Virgos that I know in some way, shape, or form teach through speaking or writing. This is a time of year that takes place during the harvest. And so at this time of year, we're harvesting all the things that have grown from springtime until now, from the sign of Aries until now. And so we're halfway through the 12 zodiacal signs. And so what Virgo does is it takes all the growth and sorts it and disseminates it and figures out what works best in different places so that it can be of use in the future. Just like a farmer will harvest their crops at this time of year and store some things and process others to use in later and in the colder winter months, Virgo knows how to do this too. Virgos are the hardest working sign, especially if you have a sun, a rising sign in Virgo, a Mars in Virgo. Um, they work very, very hard because they want to be of service to others. The trick is to know the difference between being of service and being a servant. A lot of Virgos will become servants, much to their own demise. I think a lot of times Virgos suffer burnout because they work so hard. Everybody loves a Virgo. We're the second most popular sign of the zodiac, meaning the only sign that there are more of in America is Scorpios. 9.6% of the population are Scorpios, and 9.4% of the population are Virgos. Everybody wants a Virgo managing their office because they are organized. They can take chaos and make sense out of it. I've had many jobs when I've been hired to clean up an office or clean out a workshop or clean this up, make sense out of this. And I do, but it seems like whenever I leave those jobs, the systems never stay in place because they fall apart because I'm not there to maintain them. They should have hired a Virgo after I left the job, is what I always say, or someone who has Virgo tendencies. One of the challenges of Virgo is that they can be perfectionistic, fussy, and judgmental. But for anyone who has experienced this from a Virgo, I want you to keep in mind that the reason that they are overcritical of others is because they actually feel this way about themselves. They feel that they could never be perfect enough. I experience this when I'm writing. I will edit and edit and edit until it's almost overdone, overthinking. And so, one of the key hallmarks of the Virgo healing journey is to let go of perfection. Some of the archetypal images that we see in Virgo is the healer, the landowner, the intellect, the craftsperson, the judge, the perfectionist. The Virgo soul journey is to learn how to own themselves both divinely and physically, to be of service through their innate wholeness and imperfection. When Virgos are healthy in self-possession, they can sell their talents, but not themselves. And so in my chart in particular, I work with a Virgo Pisces axis. I've got a lot of things in Virgo and a lot of things in Pisces. And so I'm really understanding the balance between divinity, which is the Piscean part of my chart, and the physicality, which is the Virgo earthiness, to balance those two things. The third bullet on this page is idea versus reality. And what this means is like Virgos have an ideal image in their mind of how things should be, but it is very hard for them to face reality sometimes because not everyone sees the world in an organized way. A lot of people's lives are chaotic. And one of the challenges that I have gone through multiple times, particularly in the past 20 years, is trying to help people out of their chaotic, messy lives. They come to me for help. I give them suggestions. I support them. I tell them things that I've done to help heal myself. And then the problem that I have is that I expect them to do it so they'll clean their lives up. The problem with that is twofold. Is one, we can't have expectations of other people to do what we would do. And two, sometimes the things that work for us don't always work for other people. There are some universal truths that do help with healing, like being mindful, taking time to relax, taking time to do breath work, taking time to be outside in nature. Those are universal healing things. But not everybody thinks like I do. Not everybody heals like I do. And so Virgos need to learn that to be of service to others means to see what they need and to help them there. And if you can't, then you just step away and let somebody else do it or let the person seek elsewhere. Virgos are excellent teachers, mothers, stewards of the earth as an ecosystem, and they work really well with healing modalities. But I think for Virgos, especially this year, we have a supercharged Virgo season because on the very first day of Virgo, we had a new moon at 0 degrees of Virgo. And on the very last day of Virgo this year, on the 21st, there's going to be another new moon at 29 degrees. And we've got, and it's an eclipse. And then we've got that full moon eclipse this coming Saturday into Sunday, depending on where you are on the planet. So this is a supercharged Virgo season. The South Node is in Virgo right now, North Node's in Pisces. So I am feeling this in my chart quite a bit. Every Virgo I know is going through some significant change physically, mentally, emotionally, with work, with where they live, with children leaving to go to college, with starting a new job. I also have a progressed moon in Virgo right now at 0 degrees. So all of the Virgo stuff in my chart is saying, guess what? You get to look at these systems again this year and the next year or so. So I am planning big changes for myself. I'm setting the intentions right now, and then I'm going to take things step by step and see how they work out. But I'm going to let that little Piscean energy come in, that divine energy come in, which is to trust the process and trust that more will be revealed. So if you are a Virgo, happy birthday month. I wish you the very best as you begin a new solar year for yourself. I will be teaching some astrology workshops coming up at Harmony in Life and at Owens Community College in October. And I'm going to put the links to that information in the description of the video below. So you can reach out to me for a private reading if you're interested, or join me for one of my workshops, either in person or virtually. Next, in about 2 or 3 weeks, when we get to the end of September, we'll be in Libra season, and I'll do a video for everyone who has Libra energy in their chart. So I look forward to sharing this information with you, and I'll see you soon. Have a great day, everybody.